woman. You might have heard me talk about it the other night. And so this woman, she's already had heartache. Her husband died, and now she's got her only son in the casket. And you know, if you listen to some people who preach the word, they'd say, God is trying to try you. He wants to see how much you can suffer. You ever heard that before? Well, that's a lie from the pit of hell. All you have to do is read your Bible, and you can see that's not true. Because here's this widow woman. She was broken. She had no husband. Her only son is in the casket, and she's going down the street, and she's weeping, and she's sobbing because the last hope she has. Because in that day, if you don't have a husband, forget it. If you don't have a son, you could easily be the slave to somebody else. If you're a woman, you were nothing in that day. So now here's her last hope in the casket, and she is weeping, and she walks, and Jesus sees her. And Jesus didn't say, woman, great is your suffering. You're called to suffer for Jesus. I hate with all my heart, I hate when people lie against my Father in heaven. He doesn't make you sick. The suffering they're talking about is the beating, the jail. If you want to know the kind of suffering that God talks about in the Bible, read the chapter where Paul talks about, I was beaten, I was stoned, I was shipwrecked. That's some suffering. I don't want to go through that. You want to go through that? I do not want to go through that. That's the suffering he's talking about. Why in the world would God let his only begotten son hang on a cross for you, let him be beat, put thorns on his head, drunk through the street, hung up on a cross, pierced in his side, only to say, you know that sickness that was on him? Now I'm going to put it on you. That doesn't even make common sense. So if you walked in here with that belief, you need to get it out, and God will heal you. That's not the truth. So here comes this widow and her son, and it's so cool. The Bible doesn't even say that Jesus was like, hey, is it okay if I pray for your son? You know, a funeral's going by. You would think that Jesus would at least ask if he could touch the, when's the last time, you ever reach in a casket? You see somebody walking down the chair, put your hand in the casket? Who would do that? Jesus did that. So they come by, and Jesus just puts his hand right in there. And immediately, that boy comes back to life. And he presents the boy to the woman. Woman, here's your son. That is the Jesus that you serve. And if you don't serve him, you can tonight. Because he loves you. And he wants you healed. And he wants you well. In Luke 8:40,